All right, my homosexuals, pop in, lock in, listen to me yap for 15 minutes because, oh man, some of these workouts can just be excruciating if you allow it to be. And what I mean by that is, I got in today, and as you can imagine from how hard I pushed yesterday, my everything was in some shambles, you could say. You could say I had some rigorous training ahead of me. The pause clean and jerks alone, my body was just, it's just my core, honestly. It's my core and my low back. They've just been getting blazed through, getting all the reps and sets in with this new kind of training, and it's been good. Don't get me wrong. It's going to make me stronger, by all means. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that my body was feeling absolutely primed and peaked. I felt pretty fucking awful for the first 35 minutes, just warming up to 245 on my pause clean and jerks. But the more you commit to the lifts in the moment and, kind of trying to put your doubt away and just doing your best in the moment with what you can do at that very present time, according to whatever fatigue you've built up, you get better and better along the way. It's going to get heavier and you're going to fatigue more every set, obviously. But if you can keep pushing through it and get kind of that second wind through your lifting, you can make the last set really goddamn good. It's just about the commitment toward getting to that effort, that level of driving through. The bench was pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. I burned myself out so hard on the pause clean and jerks that when I got to bench, my core was like shaking while lying down. My hips and my glutes were trying to, they were trying to pull while I was sitting on the bench and tucking my back in. And it's always gonna create unnecessary doubt and concern when you feel that, that level of, how do I say it? You're just not, it'll put you in a mindset that you aren't ready when you are, And all I got to say for that is, obviously, if you feel like you're going to get injured, do not push it. It's not worth it. But if physically you feel fine, and the majority of it's just fatigue and mental, at least attempt to get some good effort sets, At least attempt to push through that and get to the end of it. Because when I was getting up to, literally 185 through almost 275 warming up, felt heavy. And not because those weights are heavy, I just was fatigued and my body didn't want to do it. And you can get to a point where all the negative past experiences that you've gone through and you've overcome and you've superseded will come back, and your brain will make you think that everything that you thought you learned was a lie, And it's a whole different ballgame to really apply yourself and teach yourself to trust in the effort you're putting in right then and there, I put on 295 because 275 moves so quick, even if it felt a little bit heavier, that I knew it wasn't as physical as my body or as my mind was trying to tell me. Because your body's always going to try to take the easy way out. But when your mental's down, it's going to make what your body feels twice. It's going to, it enforces those negative habits twice as hard. And it's something that you at least have to attempt, If I did one rep and it felt bad on my body physically, of course I would have put it up, I'm not that egotistical about it. But god damn it, I got a good lift off. I shot the shit with some good homies and got the mental up. And when you forget about the concern and the overthinking and whatever, you really, I'm telling you, catching that second wind, the runner's high for weightlifting is so important to learn how to commit to, it's so hard to explain, but it's really just allowing yourself to turn everything off at that moment, regardless of what you've learned or whatever. It's just, expecting nothing and just accepting that where your body's at right now, if you put that weight on the barbell and you physically feel fine, you can probably lift it because you imagine that you could. And that's not me telling you to put it on there just because you feel like PRing. It's that step of, okay, this felt pretty good and pretty confident, but I'm just a little mentally scared to do that next jump just because, I'm shaking in my boots a little bit. And it's taking that leap of faith in your efforts and your consistency and your discipline and your passions that gets you to that next level, that gets you to become accustomed to the new weights and the new levels of effort that you have to put in for the current body that you're holding on to, I honestly, I would call myself, before I started pulling my chest a bunch, I feel like I was almost like a bench specialist because genetically I was just built different. I benched twice a week at the most, not even, did no accessories for my arms or my bench press, and I was pushing 3 plates like it was nothing, and to be fair, the way 295 moved today, I'm getting back to that point for sure, but it's just getting that level of confidence back in where it needs to be, really feeling out exactly what my body needs to grow in order to minimize and mitigate, absolutely prevent any of these past injuries that try to scare me for no fucking reason when I try to push these weights heavier every single week, because this week felt great and I'm going to keep riding that high and riding that second win, but it does not mean I'm in the clear by any means, because what I've learned today, without a shadow of a fucking doubt, is first of all, I need to stop taking super duper stimmy pre-workouts. I normally never do. I just haven't had anything. So I've been just kind of using what was around the house for my roommates, or today I literally got the C-Bum brand one because I didn't have any at home. We ran out, and it's not bad. It wasn't a bad pre-workout. I just, that kind of stimulus does not work well with my body, and I crashed so fast. It was really fucking disappointing. And again, a lot of that's probably from my fatigue that I've built up over time. But other than that, it also, when you get to that level of physical stress and mental doubt where you're just trying to push through as hard as you can and let your body kind of take over and do the work so that your overthinking doesn't ruin the potential that you have right then and there, it will really show you where your insecurities are in your lifting. Like, I know for a fact now, after today, that although I'm right-handed and everything, my right shoulder, my right bicep, not my right forearm because of my hand injury, but at least the main components of my right arm, my bicep and my shoulders, are dominant. But my left pec is fucking massive for, I don't know what reason. Because people are like, just do dumbbell bench. And I'm like, you don't understand. I have the control and the stability to do dumbbell bench perfectly, no matter the weight. The issue comes in when I hold a straight bar that can't be bent or turned in any sort of way. And I've talked about this before. Nobody's symmetrical in this sport, There's always going to be some sort of discrepancy in your limbs or your torso, whatever you want to say. There's going to be something that is not as optimal as it could have physically been when it comes to your anatomy. I have one leg that's slightly longer and one arm that's slightly longer than the other, and that strain is put on the side that has to pick up more weight to make up for the range of motion, and so it's kind of like my knee. I gotta treat it like it needs to get that extra bit of special attention, It's time to graduate from not giving it any more than 2 bench days a week, because I do them at the end of my 3-day debacle, because it's the easiest lift, and I'm normally prepped for it because I've just done this for so long that ending with bench makes the most sense when it comes to the fatigue on my shoulders, But because my shoulders are fatigued by the end of those 3 days, the pressure can switch to my chest. It's why I've put my grip slightly wider than it used to be. I used to do a very close grip and put all the strain on my chest because I liked using the explosion, but that led to the pulling of my chest, So it's meeting that middle ground and making the sacrifices necessary to get back to an optimal point. So while I'm riding my second wind and doing my absolute best with that effort I put in today, because goddamn, dude, 295 for sets, I'm proud of that for the effort that I've made. I think that's the heaviest bench I've put on the bar since my chest was pulling all those months ago. And it looks great, and I've definitely grown stronger. But it's about getting that confidence, that strength in my pec that I need to move forward. So while I'm left pec dominant, which is such a weird fucking statement, but it's true, I got to start giving my right pec that necessary love. You know what I mean? Like, I can do, like some sort of push-up variation where I just go down on one arm while the other one stays mostly straight. And I have the muscle memory in both my pecs. I know how to engage and drive through both of them individually. I can just do it way better on my left. So it's getting that increased optimization for my right pec that's going to make my bench even out, because my arms aren't the same length as one another, And even more than that, with all the Olympic lifting I'm doing, there's always going to be discrepancies there as well. And so if I'm pushing harder on my left every now and then because of my injury in my hand so long ago, that's also a reason to believe that my left might just be taking over the bench more than it needs to because of that difference in effort, But either way, there's a way to balance it out. Like with the bone growth I have on my left hand, my left forearm got stronger than my right so that the pull would balance out. Same thing here. I got to push my right pec a little bit more so that I can balance out what my left pec has put in for the overall effort of my bench, I may be dominant on my right bicep and shoulder, but that does not mean every part of the right side of my body is dominant, Especially after doing all these accessories. I feel like I used to have a better, maybe a more consistent drive with my right leg. Like, it wouldn't push out as hard as my left. But now I'm getting, like, my muscle memory in my left quad is obviously going to be better because of all the accessory movement I've been doing for it. And don't get me wrong, I treat both legs equally, but the effort I've been having to put more on my left because of that being where the injury was, has made it to where I have a better mind muscle connection on my left than my right, because I have to put in more effort to do the actual accessories I'm trying to do. I'm sorry, I got so much on my fucking mind that it's hard to concentrate on one thing after another. But bottom line, I did fucking great. That's the bottom line. I gotta give myself credit. I killed it, and I know I did. I did very, very well. But that doesn't mean that there aren't areas of my body that I want to improve, So I'm going to continue working on those things, doing better every single day. And it'll get there, Like, my knees have had zero pain during my workouts now because of the reverse sled pulling and all the accessory stuff I've been doing for it. I unfortunately didn't get to do the sleds today because there was a class going on. And they give those to the classes. So fuck my knees, I guess, but that doesn't mean that's the only thing I can do. I'm gonna keep doing my lunge work while I'm at work, People get so weirded out by me while I'm working in the hospital, because in the middle of the night I'm just stretching my fucking quads and my knees, and they're just like, "What are you doing, man? You're freaking me out." And I'm like, "I'm just trying to stay physically healthy, damn it." But either way, we're making good progress, and I pushed through regardless of how fucking tired I was and how much my body wanted to quit. And that is what is so fucking important, My left pec definitely feels pretty amped at the moment, and it might be good to try some stuff out, see what feels good on my chest, because who knows? Maybe I would benefit from trying out a bench that is slightly closer grip, not as close as it used to be, but then focusing more on keeping my elbows more pushed, toward my body, rather than letting them flare out more. Because I've always done better having them flare a bit and put that stress on my shoulders a little bit more, but who knows? I haven't fucking tried it, so I'm gonna see what works. I think the one arm push-ups is gonna be pretty beneficial, and just, getting a good stretch on my left pec is definitely gonna be beneficial. But it's just the same thing with everything. You just gotta give it that consistency, that attention, and just see where it goes. It does not matter if I pull my chest again next week. I'm going to grow through it and do better along the way, no matter what. Because that is truly what I believe in, But either way, that's fucking enough. God damn it, I didn't tell you guys how I was doing. Just really quick before I go. God, you guys got to stop me, goddammit. I can't stop yapping sometimes. Physically, being fully honest with myself, because I caught that second wind pretty well. The bench felt really good by the end of it. But overall, it was more like a 7.6, you know? Still decent. Not bad at all. But nowhere near what I'm hoping to do. You know what I mean? I'm going to try to do a lot better with this next week so that I can minimize the stress on my body for it. But it's gonna work, damn it. I'm telling you now, it's going to get there. I can promise you that. It's just a matter of giving it that time and effort and that attention, that good loving, and just seeing what happens, you know? So mentally, I'll give it at least an 8.2. You know, again, very good. Not bad at all. Just not as high as it could have been. I went through a lot of fucking stress, and it gets scary, man, when old habits try to kick back in. You got to really allow your body to take over sometimes and just push through that shit. It can be tough. So trust yourself to an extent. Don't let the ego take over, but let that pride and that effort and that experience lead you through the workouts. That's all I got. I got to go to fucking work. Holy shit. I appreciate you guys hanging around, listening to me yap off again, but I will be back day after tomorrow. It'll be a rest day tomorrow, thankfully, so that'll be good for me. And we'll just see what happens, you know? I'll be back with a decent... I imagine I'm going to go pretty heavy on my snatches next time I get in. It'll be the last week of volume, doing triples on Olympic and sets of 6 on power lifts. So after next week, we'll get to see how my efforts have translated to heavier weight. And maybe the increased volume is what might be stressing my body a little too much, because I've been doing volume for many, many months, ever since I got injured. So we'll see what happens, you know? I love you guys. See you tomorrow.